Please remember that when you feel scared or frightened, never forget the times when you feel happy. When day is dark, always remember
another one.
All that stuff I said about my coworker.
Yeah, well, obviously, it's gonna be for future outtakes.
Not even that. I say his name.
Future docs takes.
And it's fine, dude. I'll just bleep out the names, obviously, and like specific details about people's jobs and shit like that.
I'm gonna say nigger a lot right now. nigger.
Gus, did you watch Christopher Cantwell's show recently?
No, that's another podcast I've fallen out of where I'm just like, eh.
Okay, he did too. He did the one the night of the election and the one the night after. And the night of the election, dude, he fell off the wagon hard, dude.
He was drunk live on air.
Drunk as fuck and just crying and screaming. I'm not joking, dude. It is painful.
What a fag.
Dude, it's fucking painful to watch, dude. Holy shit. You can just completely lost it. He was, he said he was at some post office or something or doing some shit, and he was in the line. We can hear the whole thing, but I'll give you a brief summary of it. He got really mad at some chick in some line of some store because she was like calmly, the way he stated, she's there just calmly discussing ruining my fucking life with her communist bullshit. And so he gets mad. He can't yell in the store, so he goes out and he's walking back to his car and he passes by a Hillary campaign headquarters for his town. Walks into there, just screams at everybody, and then just like some guy tries to fight him, and then he like he's like, "Fuck you! You know what I could possibly do to you?" At this point, he's only 2 beers in at this point.
I'm 2 beers in. The hell?
And so like a week, and it's like an hour-ish after he starts the broadcast, he just has like an open bottle of wine next to him, and then like two other cans of beer, tall boys, and he just gets fucking horrendously drunk. He's crying, he's screaming, he's like, I don't want to have to kill people. I'm like, holy shit, dude. Holy crap. Completely off the wagon. I was watching it today and during my break, I was like, oh man, I just feel bad for him. I just want to get the guy a hug.
I mean, he's got to be in better spirits now, right?
Yeah, the episode the very next day, he's like, hey guys, sorry about yesterday. I really lost my cool.
Better start open your game, brother.
Shut my gun, nigga.
Get into the content.
The content farm. I gotta farm every moment of my time for content.
Yeah, Cat started that, and so did Ivan a long time ago. And I tried, but then I realized that I just don't have content. It's like today, like I get this problem, like where I get new followers and things like that, and people are really, really wrapped up into the dialectic. And so if like you start to like just kind of have philosophical questions, or maybe you want to just talk, greater politics like we do,
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden I'm a traitor to the movement. I'm like, no, dude, I'm just trying to talk about like the possibilities of the alt-right and have a conversation with myself basically on Twitter, because I really don't give a fuck if you're in it or not. You know what I mean? Like, but for some reason, these guys think that I should be just like a content farm for the alt-right and just propaganda, positive spins all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not going to happen. If I wanted to do that, I would invent a sock puppet account that had nothing, that just did that, and I would go and post that every once.
I'll do the same, but not even because I'm ashamed of the viewpoint, just because I'm ashamed to be associated with the lameness of just being a freaking, it's like a meme spurg.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I harp on him a lot, but like the worst one, the worst one of this is just just nothing of depth, and everything is filtered through like the Spencerism lens, and like you try to talk to him about something that isn't in that little sphere, and you just can't break out of it. He's like, yeah, but how does this help the white race though? I'm like, dude, that's not what I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, I just have this thing where it's like I've evolved past it, and it's been a long time I've evolved past it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't make a movement your identity. Like, you can support it, you can help its goals along, but you can that shit can't be part of you, because that's a plan isn't an identity, and that's all movements are, is really just just the applications of plans, of goals, or whatever. You can't be like, oh well, I'm alt right now, like that's my thing, that's me. Like, no, dude, just stop it. Fucking read a book, a real one.
Right, because you realize once you start reading and getting into these things, if you get past that point, that all ideology is just cancer. It's just cancer of the soul. And that's all this stuff is. It's just different shades of ideology, and it's just like none of this is really going to work for me in general. Now, I'm not saying like the white genocide memes, they're very effective, and they're doing their damage every single day. And I really, my hat's off for people that for 4 years solid now, they get on freaking Twitter, YouTube, and they get on Facebook, all these things, and they are just white genocide memes and on that script 24/7.
That's dedication.
That is amazing to me. I mean, that's amazing dedication to me. I have like I said, my hat is off to that ability and to that determination and to that discipline. But I fucking think outside of that, from time to time, you know what I mean? Like most of the time, Like, I think about other things. I want to discuss and talk about other things. And I also want to question the things that I think about. And, that might be, a sign of weakness or something like that. But I'm really not that caught up in looking weak or anything like that. I'm really just, kind of into thoughts and philosophies and into my own thing that I'm doing. And that whole ideology, you have to be committed to the ideology. So.
Yep.
Which, like you said, is problematic, because then you get to the point to where you box yourself off, and you're not able to see the things that could be destructive. You're not able to adapt. Just all these problems start to stack up for these people, and then there's a natural burnout. I got friends right now that are, from me being on Twitter, they're just now starting to kind of get into the alt-right a little bit. More and more, so they're starting to bring up and shoot me memes that are, to me, kind of older, you know what I mean? And start, they start talking smack about Forney, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's just low-hanging fruit, dude. But but you know what I mean? But I can't judge them, because I mean, I was on that level not too long ago. A couple of years ago, I was on that level completely. And that's why I can't completely abandon the alt-right either, is because the alt-right is such a gateway drug to a lot of different thoughts and opinions. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't think that I would have gave Orthodox much of a chance in the right mind without going through the whole alt-right question of what is Western civilization and what's going on with globalism.
Yeah.
You best explain it is to explain to somebody about my political points of view would be based off of a globalist agenda, and how best to stop that. How do we stop this very destructive thing that seems to be consuming the whole world? And it's kind of the source of all this violence, and all this turmoil that happens everywhere. Mm-hmm. And that was the only way I could really I could really confront that, was through the alt-right dialectic, which wasn't the alt-right at that point. It was just basically white nationalism is what it was.
Yeah.
But it made it a lot more palpable and understandable, because it puts you in an identity group that was a part of this whole thing, and not just, you know what I mean? Because it separated yourself from the United States government, from a lot of the institutions that you thought were a part of you. So then you could have that separation, and then you could look outside of from a different angle, from a different point of view. And if you don't, at the end of that, if you don't apply that to all races and everyone on a global scale, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing wrong with you. You know, it's like that. I always say that, like, most alt-right guys that I know that really understand what they're talking about are the opposite of white supremacists. They see the major flaws of white people not having an identity and the ramifications of them not having an identity and being able to be used in this sense of multiculturalism, which just perpetuates wars in the Middle East and instability all over the place, and does all these things easily for globalists to disrupt markets and enslave people.
One of my favorite guys.
You know, I was just going to say, so there's a certain point to where, like I've said before, people have completely fucking jumped my shit for this. But there's a certain point to where you can almost relate to, you almost become kind of a Marxist in a way, where you see the kind of the class warfare that happens here, you know, between the upper middle class, managerial class that enforces the rules of the globalist sect to dominate the world. And a lot of that is just built around because they believe in this multiculturalism myth, which is just corporate propaganda to maximize profits and quarterly profits at that. So you start to see everybody as a victim from a different side, and you start to actually get the whole idea that the Dems are the real racists, but not from the Breitbart angle of the Democratic plantations.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is that these upper class white liberals have no sense of identity, but yet their presupposition is that everybody is at default a Westerner and has Western values and expectations of success and life and happiness. And it's like, whoa, you're not happy. You're miserable as liberal white with cats and no family and no traditions, and you're not happy at all.
Yeah, they want their colored Swipple friends. Is what they want.
Yeah, and you know, you got this really good with Uganda when they were going to make homosexuality a jailable offense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Progs jumped down on them and threatened sanctions and that they were going to withdraw the UN from this. And it's like, wait a second, this is their culture, man.
Yeah, and then they get these guys, they double down and they tell them, no, this country is, we are not gays. And they see that, and instead of like backing down, they're like, oh man, they need a lot more human rights campaigns. We got to double, we better crank this puppy up.
Absolutely. And that's the managerial class. But I mean, we know the globalists, the first thing they want is gay parades and guys with their schlongs hanging out and pornography everywhere. Because it completely destroys the most basic resistance to globalism, which is community and family. And, well, of course, God.
The best example of that was the story that E. Michael Jones tells about the time that Israel just totally took over the Gaza Strip for like a few months. And the first thing they did was take over the TV station and just broadcast porn. Right. Yeah.
And they do the same thing in Iran. They pump in porn in Iran now.
Jeez. They'll
pump it in there. And it wasn't Dr. Matthew Raphael Johnson, but it was on one of those guys from Mysterium Fascists. How do you say that?
Mysterium Fascists.
Yeah, which is an excellent podcast. But one of the guys that was on that, he was talking about how he was watching Generation Kill, which I watched, but it's been 10 years ago when it came out.
Yeah.
And but I don't remember this part. But he says in that the first thing they take over this village and they start giving the kids pornography, thinking it's funny. And the imam comes out there and talks about how they're destroying their culture, they're destroying everything they believe in, and they shoot him.
What?
And he was like, "This is a microcosm of what we're doing on the macro to everyone all the time." And it's like, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, that speaks volumes. You know, we go in, destabilize the country, and start giving them porn, and destroy all these things that can somehow be a defense mechanism against making them basically wage cuts.
Jeez, I didn't hear about that. That's crazy. I never watched the Generation Kill show.
It's good. I definitely suggest you watch it. I mean,
I read pieces of the book back when I was reading Kaplan and all the geopolitical grand chessboard stuff, but that was years ago.
It's like our generation's Full Metal Jacket. It's definitely not our generation's Platoon. It's not our generation's Apocalypse. Now it's our generation's Full Metal Jacket. Without the esotericism. But I need to watch it again which I'll say that with a caveat that I haven't watched it again, but I will say that no one can really match Kubrick's ideal of the primordial and try to understand that those cycles that he's trying to talk about or he's trying to discuss inside of his, which, the only way you can really understand through that.
I can't wait to get Jay Dyer on here. First thing I'm going to ask him is like all these things that you see in the movies and the media and stuff like that. How much of it do you think is on purpose? How much do you think is like just the expression of the zeitgeist?
Yeah, because he said plainly that he thinks that it's done on accident, but he never really stresses.
Do you mean by accident, Sean?
Like a total coincidence.
No, but do you mean by accident?
I'm pun retarded, man. If you got a pun here, you got to explain it to me. No,
I frequently express my neat rage about the phrase "on accident."
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah.
Because the first time someone explained it to me, they're like, "Oh, like it's just like on purpose," but the opposite. I'm like.
Yeah, and that might be a total Hoosierism. But Hoosiers are known to do double negatives and put words that just don't belong in sentences. And we like to say that a lot. I gotta say that I have a really hard time numbers and any kind of symbols in my tweets.
Yeah.
Hate it.
All right, hold on one second. I'm gonna get some water. All right.
I couldn't help but hear you sneeze a bunch of times. Do you have AIDS?
Yeah, I got the grids. I'm just all about the the oozing sores. Hey, what's up, CF?
Oozing sores?
Just you came right at the perfect time.
I love things that are out of context.
Yeah. Sean just heard me sneezing. He's like, "Oh man, do you have AIDS?" I'm just like, "Yeah, I got the grids, man. I got the oozing sores. It's bad."
Get cancer, maybe you'll get it too, nigga.
I can't wait, man.
For what?
I can't wait to get my AIDS.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be totally cool for Christmas.
It's some AIDS candy.
See, if you're gonna love the way that I'm gonna end this episode. Once the final edit is done, I already did it because we got, I had a few minutes to kill while I was waiting for someone to show up.
Yeah,
I got the audio for that girl, the one who called the guy a gold shoot faggot.
There's so many people who thought like I was being sarcastic when I posted that. Like, "Oh, you're just bitter because she's yelling at Spicks like you." I'm like,
It's on there.
Did I not call her an angel on earth? Like, is that not good enough for you?
So I got the audio for it, and I laid it over Earth Angel.
Fantastic.
So you just hear like, "He called you faggot," back, "Earth Angel, Earth Angel." Perfect. Came in like a minute and 30 seconds. It's perfect.
I had a very CF tweet the other day that rustled Mini Jimmy. I was very proud of it.
Which one was that?
I I got a Breitbart. It was a Breitbart headline, and it just said "Woman arrested for propositioning sex for nachos."
I saw that on Drudge Report.
And I just put on there the most American headline ever. And of course, I have a billion alt-right followers, which I love. But we were just talking about this before you got on here, is about how they're so caught up in the dialectic that if you even challenge that worldview, you are a complete heretic and you must be stomped out.
Well, it just goes to show you what they valued all along. They haven't valued the truth, which is what I thought they did for a while. But, at a certain point, they're just like, I don't care anymore. I just want white people to stop hating themselves. And at that point, it's like, you're done. Mm-hmm. If it's such a single issue thing, it's like, okay, you want people to not despise their genetic circumstances. Okay, what after that?
Yeah, I'm the same way. On a different angle, but I'm the exact same way. Is this exactly what the alt-right implosion is going on this right now? Is like, you guys lack confidence. Deep down, you really don't believe the bullshit you put on Twitter. You know what I mean?
No, they don't.
Yeah, and like, so and we know where confidence actually comes from. You know what I mean? It comes from God. It comes from tradition and religion. And so this guy, he puts down that little 4chan arrow. I don't know what that means. A little less than sign, greater than sign.
Yeah.
And he puts American, and then it has one of those little arrows again. And he says, no one involved is American.
Wait, hold on, guys. I goofed.
You done goofed. That's all right. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. So he puts a little arrow, and he says American. And then he puts another little arrow, and he says no one involved is American. So I'm like, okay, this is obviously, I know he's getting at right here is this. These are a bunch of illegals that are having sex over nachos. And I'm like, no, that is not what's going on here. This, obviously, Americans having sex, white Americans having sex over nachos. And so I find the woman's name. Her name is Crystal with a Y. And her last name is Holtlots. And a picture of her is very, very gross and very, very white. And then he puts exactly afterwards. And so I didn't even want to argue with that. And I just said, Ohio is like Florida of the Midwest. And I thought maybe hopefully that meme will supply enough that by itself. But it's like, really, you know what I mean? Like, I guess he could squeeze in there that she's somehow not white still.
Well, and they're basically using white as a synonym for perfection, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's people get so just like Sean said, they get wrapped up in the movement. They make the movement their identity, and that should never happen. It shouldn't be about like, oh, well, this plan of action is now who I am. Because then once it's over, well, you have nothing. Or if something deviates from your plan, you have to adjust it. Suddenly, you're just adrift.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand. Like you spend 6 months in the white genocide meme, and then you break out after 6 months, and you go to the MPI meme, and then you spend 6 months, and you go to your different levels.
Your meme time.
Yeah, but then at some point you have to realize. That's why I was telling Rick, I was like, at some point if you're involved with the alt-right long enough, you start to come to the. You're no longer a white supremacist. Actually, you're anything but. And you're like, good God, my race is worse than anybody on every level for so many reasons.
Right, and that's what this is what it's all about now, keeping people blind to their own perfections, because if you identify with the tribe first and foremost, you have to answer for that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what, these people are you if this is who you want to be.
Good point.
So who are you? And they don't want to own up to it. Anybody who says like, maybe something's wrong with us, no, that's defeatist.
Yeah.
That's purity spiraling.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No. I really, and your whole point is like, no, I really want to know how we fix this situation. You know what I mean? Because I was talking to Rick about how there's so many levels of the fact that, okay, yes, white identity is kind of needed, because the white people that are in control have no sense of whiteness or white identity, but they do but it's like it's a hidden type of a thing that they don't really know exists, and how destructive it is for the world in a geopolitical manner. You know what I mean? About how they think that everybody in the world really wants to be a Western upper middle class, graduate from Berkeley, and so they can have 9 cats, and they could take birth control until they're 30, and then they could freeze their eggs. Like this is, they really think that this is like what everybody in the world should want, and it's like, no, this is what Western decay has given you.
It's like a sense of temporal arrogance. Like right now is the top. This is the bee's knees. Doesn't get any better than this. We got to make sure we export this as hard and fast as possible.
All right, and saying that there are things we need to work on that somehow defeatist. Pointing out problem is somehow black pilled or nihilistic, and it's ridiculous. These people are the direct parallel of the social justice hug boxes they so bemoan. It's like they don't want to hear any bit of negativity or any bit of negative reality.
Yeah, it's like I talked to a black guy on Twitter one time, and he started arguing with me, and he was like one of these kind of like constitutionalist black guys you meet every once in a while, and once in a blue moon on Twitter, and he's a hardcore Republican, black guy, and he's sitting there talking to me about Ferguson. He's like, well, what do you think about Ferguson? And I was like, well, Ferguson shouldn't happen because, all those people in Ferguson, they should all have black teachers and black policemen if they want to even have black policemen or black teachers. And he was like, he thought that was the gravest insult in the world, that like black people shouldn't be living up to Western values. And I was like, well, maybe black people don't need to have policemen in their neighborhood. Maybe if they had their own communities that weren't constantly toyed with by white people, they would have their own way of policing their community that doesn't involve a guy with a gun and a badge, which is a total Western concept. You guys see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't all have to be filtered through this, American white lens.
No, man, you're wrong. Look, we're gonna have global swipeldom. Every neighbor's gonna be just like Astoria. It's gonna be just, it's gonna be just Williamsburg's from here to Timbuktu. It's gonna be great.
It's Williamsburg.
Yeah. Whatever increases my IRA, and whatever is make sure that the satellite comes to my TV. And I have a plethora of Cheetos coming in at all times.
Back in the
that's exactly what I want.
Back in the Occupy Wall Street days, the Daily Show sent some guys out there trying to show how naive the guys in the park were, and it was really funny because he's like, they were saying, "Oh, the poor people need all this help," and when you're like, "Yeah, but you're not poor. You have an iPad." Like, and back then that was a very pricey item, and the guy looks at it, the guy looks down and he goes, "Oh, well, I think everyone in the world should have an iPad." Like that's like your idea of liberation is like, man, if like these poor starving Africans, and you're like, man, if only they had iPads.
How about you give people what they can handle and just go with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. The middle class dream is a nightmare.
Like the Reddit thread that you posted about a while ago, where it was like this village gets internet for the first time, and all freaking what Reddit does is show them porn.
Yeah, and they're like, "What the hell is this?
Like, please don't send this to us. What are you, some kind of bigot?"
I mean, that's what an iPad is, guys. An iPad's porn.
It's the porn machine.
Let's get real. I mean, it's like I argue with people on Twitter, and I'm like, you do realize that Twitter, like 90% of the people who get on Twitter are on here for porn.
Oh yeah, and it's hidden unless you know about it. But then when you look at the stats, it's more than half the traffic of Twitter is just porn accounts. Same with Tumblr. Massive amounts of porn that you don't know about because you travel among just the normal socializing circles or ideological circles or whatever, little cliques. But the porn stuff is way bigger and way more active. You don't even see it unless you're clicking on that stuff. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, porn is the most subversive thing that you can do to destroy the family, and then after that, the community. So it's always going to be there and introduced as far as any of this globalist agenda goes with, and all of these upper class white people, and I will include the alt-right people in on this, is that that's what they're promoting. That's exactly what they don't know that they're promoting, but that's exactly what it's all about.
We saw how mad they got when Trump talked about banning some kinds of porn.
Right, he signed the anti-porn pledge, and they all flipped their shit.
Like, no, he betrayed us.
Macum.
Yeah, it's like the latest bitch fest about Putin was that Putin banned one porn channel, which was Pornhub, which is a massive thing. And it's like I talked to my Russian friend because everybody's freaking out about it in America. And I'm like, and then of course the alt-right is like, this is a great thing because Putin's the savior of the Western world. And I'm like, asked my Russian, I was like, so are you getting porn over in Russia? He's like, there's porn everywhere in Russia. Don't worry. Lots of porn in Russia. Just can't get it from Pornhub right now. You know what I mean? Like, just an absolute farce,
Well, it's just when you boil it down to it, it really is just like, well, it's fine if white people do it. It's fine if white people are making money off of it. It's fine if white people are promoting it just as long as it's white. It's like they think usury stops being usury if it's not a Jew charging the interest rates.
Right, yeah. Never mind the fact that the Rothschild meme is over 100 years old. That J.P. Morgan and the Rockefellers are the ones that have been pushing all of this globalism for forever. That it's very frustrating because they talk about how white people aren't in power, but the white people are the problem. And I hate it because every time that I post anything about the real globalist structure, I'm anti-white. And it's like, but seriously here, man, these aren't Jews doing this.
Yeah. It's like you trace it back. The Jews aren't doing anything we didn't do first. Mm-hmm. It's like you look at Denmark, they invented bestiality porn, if you're going on the extreme end of it. Marquis de Sade, we don't need to go into what he was all about. All right. As soon as the motion picture camera was invented, we were making pornography. It's insane.
The merchant exploits existing market.
Right. It's not like they're being proactive. They're being reactive.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go back to usury, the Knights Templars were owned a little version of usury before they were basically killed before their usury power back in the day where you just I think we'll see that day come again. It's just where like, oh, we owe you this much money. Oh, well, fuck you. I'll just kill you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's cool things come apart. All right, gentlemen, let's I think it's just gonna be you, me, and CF here, Sean, because I don't think anyone. I think Alex, I'm not sure what he's doing. I'm sure he's doing something neat-ish.
He's stocking up on turkey tendies.
I talked to him the other day on Telegram, and what time did he read this? He read it at like 4:30 in the morning. Like, to go to bed, nigga.
Take a nap.
All right, y'all. So, man wakes up in a forest.
Remember, there was a chick named Cricket that we knew in high school that was kind of nuts.
Oh, geez. Hope it's not the same one.
No, this wasn't. Well, why she moved all the way up to New Hampshire?
Free State Project?
No, this chick was kind of brown, remember?
Okay.
You don't remember Cricket?
No. Not at all.
Whatever. She was nuts, and apparently she fooled around with a few of our friends. She wanted to fool around with me. I was just like, no thoughts. But she was pretty nasty. She was also overweight.
Oy vey. Whoa, James's girl.
Yes, her.
Oh yeah, she was gross.
Yeah, she was. And dude, she flirted with me nasty one time, and I was just And from the highway, you're like, wow, look at this beautiful modern utopia, because it's got a beautiful skyline. And then once you get down off the highway to pour gas, you're like, oh God, I'm in hell.
I died.
Yeah, I didn't make it. I didn't make it to North Carolina. I'm in hell.
Do you guys have railroads? Many railroads down there?
Yeah, we got a good amount of them.
Okay, I used to work for a railroad, and now they're owned by a company called CSX. You have CSX?
Yes, I've seen the CSX mark a few times.
They're headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida. That's their
Yeah.
That's their corporate national headquarters.
Ish.
Jacksonville.
What's wrong? They ran out places in Jersey to hide the corruption? Or?
I have no clue. I have no clue, but I know that when I was working up through the railroad, that was a possibility. Move to Jacksonville. All I could remember was episodes of Cops with just niggers just running down the street and
Megan.
just that's ridiculous. Greatest Cops episodes ever. And I was like, no, I'm not going to Jacksonville. No.
No, yeah, there's no reason to go there. It's terrible.
Well, that was like everything for the railroad. That was the way you made it. Like, if you wanted to move up in the railroad, you would bounce from railroad to railroad and work and learn stuff and become valuable. But that was the main problem is that every railroad in America is in the worst neighborhoods of every area of America. It's like it's in Memphis, or and not even the good part of Memphis at all.
Hey, so Hector can't make it.
Oh, well.
That's cool.
Well, yeah, there's a railroad that goes right through East Hollandale Beach, which is close to where I work, and it's a bad neighborhood. Like I go through there looking at my glove compartment, like I'm gonna have to open this up and shoot someone, aren't I? I'm always paranoid going through that neighborhood.
That's why you had to get a small speaker outside your car like the cops have. Just be like, I'm armed. I'm armed. Nobody come near me.
Or I'll just buy one of those holsters that goes on like the well of the steering wheel.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Cool stuff.
Yeah, I went with my boss to Chicago for this workshop training for this test I'm going to take.
Yeesh.
And he brought his gun to Chicago, and we were driving back, and he was talking about having that, and he said, and I said, that it's illegal to even have that in Chicago at all. And he said, yeah. He said, but if something happens, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. I said, he's like, they'll understand. I said, they're not going to understand. I said, dude, if you shoot somebody, we're going to leave, and we're not going to ever talk about it ever again.
Yeah, there'll be no calling the cops. Just shit.
It's like
bury the body and go.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, get your mind out of Indiana, dude. If you shoot some dude out here, we're gonna get in the truck and we're gonna drive away, and then we're just never gonna talk about it. That's just how it's gonna be. Like, we'll know when we look at each other every day what we're capable of, but that's about it. But yeah, you imagine reasoning with the Chicago police.
Well, city officer, thing is, it's a violent nog.
I'm like, well, yeah, that's every day. That's all the nogs here.
And the cop's like, hey, listen, just go home, okay, buddy?
Yeah.
Don't come back to Illinois.
He tells me, take your friend home now.
What the hell was that? The comedian skit years ago. He was like, he said, back before drunk driving was explicitly illegal, a cop would be like, "Hey, buddy, you're trash, man. You're totally drunk. You drive straight home, okay?"
That happened to me several times when I was younger.
Oof.
Back in the days, I was actually talking to somebody the other day about one of their kids got busted pretty hardcore drinking and driving in the country, and we used to do that all the time. When we were like 16 years old, you'd go and get like a 12-pack and a doobie or something like that, and you just cruise the country for 3 hours after school. I'm sure those days are over.
So,
but cops would catch you even when you were 18 or 19 with beer, and they just tell you to pour it out and go home. Tell your parents.
Well, yeah. What I miss is living in the country and having these country roads you can travel by golf cart. So you could just get fucking hammered and then go home on a golf cart. And because you're not on the main road, no one bugs you.
It's great because the town I work in is like just typical Hoosier white trash. And they have like a place for recreational vehicles to go camping, like right in the city where you can park your RVs around these reservoirs. And like literally people live in the city and they go there in the summertime, which is like 3 or 4 blocks from their house. And they just stay in their campers, which are just camper to camper. And that's where they hang out all summer long. And they just drive around those golf carts and get drunk. And they go to work every day and things like that. That's just where they stay in the summertime. But they have a house. It's like
That's how you do it.
It's wild.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Oh man, so we getting started?
Up until World War II, the same time that it was kind of prevailing in Romania and everywhere else,
Yeah.
until the strong hand of the Atlantic system, the bankers came in, Alexander Dugin style, and slapped everybody down.
That was back when NAMBLA would openly march at the gay pride parades.
And Allen Ginsberg would head the parade down the street.
It's funny how like a lot of people I've met, if I bring up the NAMBLA thing, they think it's that they think it was just a South Park joke.
Really?
They don't think it was a real organization, or that that it still is a real organization. You know, people think that it doesn't or never really did exist. That it was just the joke on South Park. No, the joke was based on the actual organization. Like, they were making fun of them, not making them up.
That's great.
It's so funny. They're like, "Well, like in South Park," I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Wait, that was real?" Like, yeah, dude. Welcome to your sick, sad world.
There should be a test out there of how many millennials attribute things to South Park that are real.
Or Harry Potter, for that matter.
Yeah, Harry Potter and Daily Show.
It's just like Voldemort. It's just like Time Batman. It's just like a time in Star Wars.
My sister's a huge Harry Potter fan. She bought all the books when they first started coming out and was trying to get me to read the books. And of course, you know, who has time for that crap? But this is back in the 90s. And I had to send her that thing about how the Washington Post edited out mudbloods. Like, they put the little asterisks in there. They didn't really say it. And she was like, she didn't believe me that it was real. So I sent her the link. And I think I posted a response on there was that her and Nathan, I think they were seriously talking about how they might be offending somebody out there that identifies as a mudblood. Which is like so 2017 is so bizarre that's where your mind has to go. It's like
instead of looking at it, like recoiling in like a ridiculousness of it, you're just like, wow, I should reconsider my position on this.
Oh my god!
What about mudblood Americans? Jeez, I don't even consider their feelings.
Yeah. What about these guys? I mean, they get enough heat. They can barely get out of their house.
Where's their protest? Jeez.
Yeah, their parents wanted them to take out the trash and do the dishes and clean up their nacho mess, and they left pizza pockets in the oven again, and all the counters are sticky with Mountain Dew. It's a horrible life. It's sad.
Oh lordy.
It was like the conversation earlier we were having about the pedophile priests. I forgot who it was who was trying to differentiate pedophilia from, I forget, but there's other philias. Yeah. And I was like,
yeah, pederasty and pedophilia.
Yeah, it's like, I kind of know that stuff, you know what I mean? But it's like, why do we know these things? And why?
Yeah, it's like, we shouldn't know these. This should not be things we factor into our knowledge base.
Yeah. This is stuff that we have to differentiate nowadays. We have to understand. We as being right-wing bigots, we must understand that these people are fucking queers. They're not child rapers.
just like throw all the categories. No, man, they want just fucking queers now. I'm like, well, see, I'm a ponyphiliac, a phebophile. So you're trying to say you're a fucking queer?
Oh God! I read a story not too long ago about these bronies that were in some kind of a pedophilia ring.
Yeah.
It was brutal, and it was a follow up from another one that I read where I think we talked about this before, where these bronies they had killed another brony.
Yeah, we talked about when CF was on here. It was after the recording. Yeah. That was great. It's like, and the first thing you thought was like, wow, the freaking bros can get together, put a community on. I can't even get these three guys up going to hang out.
Bronies are moving halfway across the world to be with each other and form their own communities. And Richard Spencer can't even get enough money to start a convention.
He can't get one bodyguard.
Tragic.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, who's the real victims here? Did you listen to the newest? I know you're about as far removed as I am anymore, but the new alt-right podcast at all?
No, I didn't.
It's actually it's not too bad. They put up some pretty good stuff, kind of black pillish type of stuff about the Trump things. Some things that we've kind of mentioned and talked about, like the fact that Trump's going to be headed, full force into a situation to where he's either going to have to duck out and be just a lame duck president like Obama, or he's going to have to do something very drastic, like a full state power imperium type of situation. Which, I've always thought, as the election was approaching, that if Trump did win, I could completely see a situation like that having to arrive. Just because the cucks are going to cuck, but I had no idea they'd be able to whip the left into such a frenzy.
Oh yeah.
I knew that they could. I thought they'd bitch and moan for 4 years, but I'm actually thinking that they may be well funded enough and stupid enough to really do something really, really stupid.
Yeah, they are off the fucking reservation. They're completely off the rocker, dude. It's crazy out there.
I cannot believe the stuff they get away with saying, and I really hate to be one of these people who talk about the hypocrisy of the left.
The intolerant left.
Yeah, and how they get away with. And could you imagine the shoe was on the other foot, Rick?
Imagine my shock.
But it really is. I mean, I read these people and they'll talk about bombing the White House and how we need to have. I'm like, what is going on here? Really, these people should be arrested.
There's something that Camel was talking about in a recent episode. He's talking about how like in the Tea Party days, if you were in like a Tea Party group IRL and you're there meeting, like even the something, if someone said something that had just the whiff of a hint of violent possibility in it, everyone so quick to be like, no, shut up. Like even if it was like a 2 or 3 people talking just amongst each other. But like the freaking leftists are out there just like they're with a bullhorn in front of like 30 people being like, we need to kill the whole White House. And they all clap. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
It's great times we live in.
Oh shit. Or that crazy chick who was like talking about she wants to kill Baron Trump or some shit like that, and people were like, you're fucked up. But then a bunch of other journalists came out to defend and be like, listen, it's just incendiary language, the same as Trump does. It's like, oh, dude, shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. It's a kid, man. So
no holds barred.
So crazy.
It's like that huge sign out there that was like a rape Ivanka or something like that.
Yes, I saw that, rape Ivanka. Like, you, sir, are a classy individual.
The hypocrisy of the left, Rick.
The intolerant left.
Yo.
Hey.
We're here talking about the intolerant left. Imagine my shock.
Hey, Gus, could you imagine if the shoe was on the other foot?
What? Wait, you're saying freedom of speech isn't important? You're the real Nazi.
You're the real fascists.
Oh, man. I think the thing that gets me the most about, and I told Rick this one time in person, the thing that gets me the most about the mudslinging between the left and the right, no, you're the real fascist, is neither of them actually know how to define fascism because they conflate it with authoritarianism.
Okay, the left defines fascism as when the right is finally fully in charge. And like the normie right defines fascism as when the left is finally fully in charge. But the far right defines fascism as when we're finally fully in charge.
So I guess we're waiting on Jay.
No, I was waiting on more than 2 guys to show up, so I'm gonna send the link right now. Dude, I mean, I hate to say it, but I really think we should record the entire women episode again.
Yeah, were we that low energy?
Yeah, and not only that, but like I know that Ivan and Hector have so much to say on the topics we covered. I would hate to just to have them completely out of it. Especially Ivan. Ivan can go on forever about his drama.
Do a part 2?
Or just scrap this one entirely, honest.
Plus, that was a bad weekend for me anyhow. I was desperate to get out and go suck this Portuguese guy off so he can remember me if a job comes up.
Like, hey, bro, just do this for my career, Dyer has a debate tomorrow with Kokesh.
Oh.
That's going to be great to listen to.
Yeah. Thing is, Kokesh is really... he's besides that, he's 80% feels,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And freaking forget about it.
And Dyer is like, look at this vast wealth of knowledge behind. He's like the brain guy in that meme.
With the brain chair. Dude, but apparently, among the topics that they were going to cover, they were supposed to cover atheism, but Kokesh backed out of it. And he's like, let's not cover that topic.
Wait, is Kokesh, well, of course he is. He's an atheist, isn't he? Of course.
Yeah.
But atheist. But, what? I guess he just realized that Dyer's whole thing
Would be
is...
outmatched.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Maybe we should have Dyer... Maybe we should have brought Omar on. Had Dyer just chew into him.
Just disabuse our poor friend Omar.
Word.
Here comes Dyer.
Cool.
Hi.
Boy.
About time funny man Jay Dyer's gets on here. Should be here in a second. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey Jay, how's it going, man?
Great. How are you?
Oh, good. Good to get you on here.
Yeah, man.
Made our recycling material.
Sean rolls up and start playing Creep.
That was great what Gus put on there earlier with the trees. That shit.
It was fucking hilarious.
But you go back and you watch Patrice, and it's very reactionary. I mean, what he's saying is, it's really spot on. All that stuff was there, and it's nice to go back there and look at that and say, shit, man. I listened to that back in the day and I laughed, but I never really realized what he was saying. You know what I mean? Like, on a deep level. Like Patrice was actually a pretty deep person throughout all the. I will give niggers the fact that they, when you're talking about black people problems, Ebonics is a problem. So you have somebody like Patrice and how he talks, like it does come off like stupid.
Yeah,
but
and
really,
but you have some of his other stuff. Like he had a short run of special episodes of the Opie and Anthony show called the Black Phillip Hour. And you can get them all on torrents now. He did like 13 of them, and it's like a mixture of really good information about men and women and relationships, and then like another mixture of just like ghetto knick-knock degeneracy. It's like you just gotta not grow up and leave, bro. Stop being black, man.
Yeah. Well, Well, the black culture's just been fucking destroyed, absolutely destroyed.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah. It's weird because I had a conversation recently with a black guy, and it wasn't like I was in a position of power to where I had to like force him to see these things, but he kind of agreed with me about like just how black people are totally fucked and like. And he was digging what I was saying and about orthodoxy and all this other stuff, and then he was like, so what do you think is the best option for us? And I was like, well, the best option for you guys is not to listen to any white person ever. because either we're lying to ourselves or we're lying to you. It's either one or the other, but it's not anything in between. They don't know what they're talking about, or they're just trying to feed you a full of line just to get you to sign on to one more rent-to-own fucking couch or something like that,
Well, I'd amend that and say there's one kind of white person to listen to for like more separatist-minded blacks is the ones who both dislike you but are nice to you.
Right, yeah. There's people like me, basically. The me's in the world is what you're trying to hint at.
Well, just the general all right who's like, hey, Hotep guys are all right. I hope they separate off and live their own lives great by themselves.
Yeah, like I'm gonna shake her hand now, but I'm gonna wash it right afterwards.
It's our goodbye shake. Get out of here. Please leave my neighborhood.
But yeah, that's I don't like to put myself into that because then I get into that same mind frame of the Democrats are the real racist type of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I recognize the white problem, which is we've talked about this endlessly about just like post-Protestantism, fucking mind meld of white people problems. It's all middle class to me. It's really an upper middle class. That's why Gus's up is because it was really described. It's not really people that I knew. If I know, they're not people that I'm. But it's not my boys. My boys listen to fucking Waylon Jennings and bluegrass and like to party and have a good time. Like a black person would probably feel quite at home with my friends. They wouldn't give a shit, besides our racism. But yeah, the people that are like the Fight Club group of people, those are kind of
Scarface for white people. Oh, jeez, that killed me.
They're kind of those are our enemies too. Like they're not. They've never been a part of us, and they from them. And but Patrice hit on it a lot. Was there's certain, and I would say that there's a lot of black people that have to act white to get into the suburbs and get the good jobs. You have to forfeit a little bit of your masculinity, not a little bit, like all of it. If you have white trash people, I've never made. We're not going to go that far to get in with those people because it's just an embarrassment to us. You know what I mean? To sit around and listen to fucking Radiohead. You know what I mean? And shit on ourselves. It's just like, no, I'm not. That's not a good time. I'd rather be poor. You know what I mean? And hang out with my buddies. That's not going to happen.
Heck, call with the boys.
Great meme, by the way.
Oh man, there's just so much. There's so many avenues of application for it.
What do you think? I mean, I kind of thought I gotta say I thought that would that's such a white boy meme.
It's such a what?
Boy meme. Me, my boys are loving it because I keep on kicking it back then every time I get.
I'm sorry, you cut out there. Say it again.
That's such a white boy meme. Every time I get that meme, I send it to my boys, and they love it. Yeah. But all of you guys love it. I mean, is it universal? Did we crack into a universal meme?
That's an absolutely universal meme.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. It's powerful. We're gonna have that meme in a couple of weeks.
Oh, indeed, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I told this is actually the longest vacation I've ever had in my life.
That's damn. You're right, dude. Same here.
And I can think of nothing. Like I got a buddy that's down in Florida right now. He's been on thousands of vacations. He's just kicking it down there, doing dumb shit. And I'm looking at him like, good God, I'd rather be in with my boys, my friends. You know what I mean? Than do any of that stuff that he's doing right now. I got some thoughts walking on down the street in front of my house right now.
Oh, jeez.
Yep, total thoughts.
Just get your hose out and just spray them down.
I thought about it.
Well, not me specifically. Before everyone out there lynches me.
Gus, I cut out every time you mention that. By the way,
Every time I mention what?
like that. Every time we're like, by the way, guys, I'm not like, oh, cut.
Oh, okay. Good job, I guess. I don't think we're fooling anyone.
Yeah, but I don't want to make a big. I don't want to fall into the. Well, as a bloopity bloop, I will bling bling.
You're like the brownest guy here.
Exactly. That's why I can't do that. I can't play that card. It's trying.
You're a chucker.
I'm the blackest. Where the white women at?
Ooga booga, nigga.
They're all fucking dogs.